Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Wisdom Wednesday. I am Kristen Gear. I am the Area Director for the Northeast Valley for BNI Arizona, as well as the Director of Information, and I help support all 1,800 members around this amazing valley with anything BNI Connect related, BNI University, and now BNI Online. So welcome to this week's Wisdom Wednesday. Every single week I provide a weekly education video and full of great tips, and I figured the best tip right now is to give you some amazing tips for Zoom. So I'm trying to make sure that this works right now. All right, we are going. You guys can see the screen. Awesome. All right, so we are in my Zoom account, and I want to show you guys some features. Now that everyone has a couple weeks, this is the second week of our online Zoom meeting. So I wanted to show you guys some of the different features in Zoom. If you haven't seen the mock meetings on BNI University that I've sent out, or the BNI University like how-to videos for Zoom, and Zoom has a lot of amazing how-to videos as well. But I wanted to show you guys a couple things and give you guys a couple tips as well to make your best experience ever in Zoom. All right, so when you first start out, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure your name populates in the screen. So you notice next to me is a box with a phone number. So there's many times when we can call in to our Zoom meetings. And with the Zoom meetings, if you're calling in from a phone number, it doesn't have your name listed. So leadership teams, and even because members may, if they're calling in, they're not going to be able to manually change their name through this. But when you go down at the bottom, you're going to click the participant screen. And so this screen's going to populate if you're on the leadership team and you're the host of the meeting or a co-host. When you scroll over the person's name, you're going to see a little More button. When you click that More button, you can click the Rename tab. So you can rename them. Let's just put this as Kelly Dominguez is joining the Zoom call today. So we'll rename that. And the great thing about renaming it is now as you go through your presentations, if it's a visitor listed for that phone number, then the leadership team will easily know who's talking during that time, because then when it's their time to talk, their name is going to pop up in the screen instead of their phone number. And that will give them more visibility in the meeting as well, so that way all of the members know exactly who they are. And members, if you're on the computer, on your phone, please make sure that in the participant screen that your name is showing up correctly as well. Some of us have usernames that are listed, so you want to make sure that your name is listed. So you can rename yourself. You can also put your company name there, so you can put BNI Arizona. If you're visiting another chapter, the awesome thing would be, like today, I subbed for Helena Vasquez with Blue Water Grill. So what I did was in my name field, I put Kristen Gear sub for Helena, clicked OK to rename, and then that populates in the screen. That way the leadership team knows that I'm subbing for that particular member in the meeting as well. Or if you're visiting from another BNI chapter and just kind of checking out the meeting, when you click the rename field, you can put BNI Hall of Fame or whatever chapter that you are a member of. Just click rename, and then that way that information then also populates in that participant screen. So making sure your name, that just adds more extra visibility for you during the meeting. Another great option that you have is these amazing virtual backgrounds. The one thing that you do want to be careful with is if there's a lot of lag time in the videos, that could mean that there's too many people using the virtual background, so you may not be able to use it. But where to find that is if you go to, make sure that you guys can see the bottom of my screen there. Scroll down a little bit. There we go. So at the bottom corner where it says Stop Video, you're going to click the little arrow and it's going to give you multiple options. So you're going to choose virtual background. And you can see here that I've downloaded a couple different options depending on what I wanted to do for that day. You can click on one and then exit out of that. There's also a lot of amazing other options in here. You can play around with video options. You can click touch up my appearance, anything that you want to add in there. Click the little X and then everything's changed on the big screen. So those are just some of the options for that. As far as lighting, guys, you want to make sure that if you have a window, that the window is in front of you, not behind you. So a lot of us think that if we open up the window behind us, letting the light in, that it's going to make it easier to see one another, but it actually makes it harder. So it's actually going to create you to be darker on the screen with that light coming in through the back. So you want to make sure that if you have a window in the room, you can close the blinds and have a light overhead to create light in the room, or make sure that the window is in front of you so that way it doesn't create you to be dark on the screen. Another awesome piece to this chat or in the Zoom is our chat option. So the cool thing is you can create a lot of recognition for our speakers, different communication for members' presentations. If you have testimonials for members, put it in this amazing chat box. Have visitors put their contact information in the chat box. That way members can gather that information from there. On here, the little drop-down button, you can choose to send messages to everyone. And so that will be on a public chat for the entire chapter, or there's a drop down and you can privately chat with different members in the chapter. So if you have specific questions about something that they talked about in the meeting, you can privately message them, and especially if you have a referral for them, privately message them asking them more questions. Utilize this chat. It's an amazing feature. It's been awesome. I've attended lots of meetings over the past 2 weeks. And it's been great just to see the feedback that's going on, the camaraderie, the jokes, like all sorts of fun stuff is happening in these chats. So definitely utilize the chat throughout the meeting, so that way you're not interrupting the meeting with your questions. It's all going through that chat box. Now with backgrounds, if you don't have a virtual background, you want to make sure that the background behind you is still professional, and also to make sure that if you're doing things other than just sitting in one spot during a meeting, that whatever you're doing, if it's not professional, that you make sure your video is off. You've seen lots of videos of the person that took their phone to the bathroom. That video has been going around everywhere. But it could happen to BNI members as well. So let's make sure that if you're doing anything other than sitting in one spot, and if you're moving around, because that also activates the motion of the video, that you turn the video off until you're in one spot and you're not in an awkward situation. So let's make sure to check the video at all times, so that way we can remain professional. As well as professional, make sure you have your name tag. I know that we have our names in the screens as well, but they don't always populate unless you scroll your mouse over the top of it. So having your name tag on also increases that added visibility, especially when you have visitors attending the meeting. They can always see what your name is. You can create different backgrounds as well to correspond to your business. Have your logo in the background. I've seen some creative backgrounds full of members' business information and different things. So that way when they're talking, if visitors don't know exactly who they are, they can be reminded by the background that they have behind them. BNI also has created BNI virtual backgrounds as well. And so I'll be sending out more resources. If you want more information about that, send me a message. You could either comment below, or you can message me directly or email me at office@bniarizona.com. Another thing with professional backgrounds, fans. So fans make make it look funky. So if you have a fan on above you, make sure that it's turned off during your video because it trips some of the video sensors as well. So make sure that you have fans off, you have a professional background, and as well make sure your video is off if you need to do anything other than sit in one spot to watch the BNI meeting. The next great thing is for leadership teams. At the very bottom, you're going to see that there is a breakout room option. And this has been phenomenal for visitor orientation breakout. So whoever is deemed the host in the meeting, and that could be president, it could be secretary treasurer. I know a lot of the secretary treasurers are the hosts of the meeting. That doesn't mean that they're running the meeting. It just means that they are going to be the ones responsible for creating the breakout rooms, which are for the visitors. So when you click the breakout room option, it's going to tell you how many participants in one room. I only have one person in my room right now. So if I click create breakout rooms, and actually let me delete this room. So when I create the room, I can rename the room to visitor orientation. That way the visitors know when it asks for them to join the room, they know exactly where they're going. And when you click the assign button, it's going to give you a list of all the people that are currently in the meeting. So this is important to do while the meeting is happening. It's always good if the secretary treasurer puts this together as the visitors are talking for their presentations, then you can note whether they are a true visitor. If you click all of their names, and then you don't want to click open all rooms until the very end of the meeting, because if you click open all rooms too soon, it will ask the visitors to join the room in the middle of the meeting, which you don't want them to join in the middle of the meeting. So you can either move that off to the side or close the window until it's time to open up those rooms there. And those are the main options. So also in the participant screen, you can, you'll have different options let me decline that. You'll have different options with raising your hand and thumbs up and clapping. So I've seen a lot of amazing communication or nonverbal communication happen in the participant screen. I've heard that some chapters, after the featured presenters, they'll unmute everybody so that way there's actual applause happening after the featured presenters. So get creative with it. But if you want to make sure that we are utilizing the BNI Online slideshow that we've provided for everybody. The latest update does have the timer widget that you can add to the slides for the participant screens. So when you're doing the weekly presentations, it actually has a little timer widget in the bottom left-hand corner of the slide. So that way members can easily see when their time is up. Because timing is so important even in the online version. I would say that the biggest thing that I've seen over the past couple of weeks is with the timers. So if people aren't hearing the ding of the timer, so if you're having trouble with the timing portion, let me know. Check out the email that I sent out yesterday. So I sent out to all the leadership teams the information for the new slideshow. The rest of the members don't need that information, but any leadership team members I did send that information to. So if you have any more questions, definitely let me know. If you have additional questions about Zoom, there's lots of different speaker options to view options. You can play around with it when you log into your meeting. Depending on chapter size, you may or may not be able to see all of the people that are attending the meeting right now. So, for example, when I share my screen, it's going to have a whole different view, and so you can play with the view options. Oh, another piece, so for whoever on the leadership team is sharing the screen, It's super, super important. If you are the featured presenter for your meeting, you will want to send any slides that you have for your presentation to the leadership team. That way they can include those slides on their weekly slide deck. The cool thing is, whoever is sharing their screen will also have this remote control option. So on the top bar here, it says remote control. And then I can assign remote control to the featured speaker. So that way you don't have to ask for the leadership team person to click through each of the slides. You can just click remote control. I'm going to give Kelly Dominguez access for remote control. It's going to say that it's waiting for her to accept that remote control access. And what it will do is it will allow Kelly then to control the slides during her featured presentation. Now, it's important that whoever is sharing the screen, you don't want to touch your mouse while they have that remote control access, because as soon as the person that's sharing the screen touches their mouse and moves stuff around, it will automatically transition that access back to the person that's sharing the screen, and it won't let that person have that remote access anymore. So you want to make sure that if you are sharing that remote control access, that you don't touch your mouse, whoever is sharing the screen. That way, that remote control access won't stop while they're in the middle of their presentation. All right, so I'm going to stop that share. Actually, I want to show you guys one other thing while we're in here. So on the BNI Arizona Facebook page, so now you guys can see my Facebook page screen, and you can see this BNI Arizona page. As you can see, we have the Wisdom Wednesday right there. Now, if you access this page through the desktop version, you'll see this little video link off to the left-hand side. If you click the video link, you'll be able to see all the past Wisdom Wednesday videos. So if you want to catch up on anything that has happened in the past, click on that video link and you'll be able to find all the past videos, which is pretty awesome. They're all about 15 minutes or less and still count as one chapter education unit for watching. So it's a quick, easy way to see some amazing videos. I've been doing them every week since November 2018. So there's plenty of stuff in there if you need some extra CEUs over the next couple weeks. And just as a reminder, guys, we will be going back to the in-person BNI meetings as soon as it's clear to do so. But we are so excited that so many members have had positive reactions to the BNI online format. I know that it's changed, it's different, but everyone is loving it. Make sure that we are continuing to keep our members in mind, especially those that may have been more impacted than others during this time. Let's bring them with us, guys. Let's think of ways outside the box to help them any way we can, whether it's posting reviews or buying gift certificates, anything that we're able to help with. I know we've had a couple members post different items that can help right now as far as masks and shields and all different stuff on this BNI Arizona Facebook page. So any resources, especially for employment. So we've had many people even outside of BNI that are unemployed right now. And so there is a post on this BNI Facebook page asking for different connections for people that are hiring. And I've even invited some of my friends to this page to view all of those different things too. So let's share the love, guys. Let's help each other out any way we can. If you have any questions about anything going on right now, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm here to help any way I can. Once again, thank you guys for joining me on this amazing Wisdom Wednesday, and I look forward to seeing you guys all next week. Have a wonderful day, guys.